What's up there, everyone? It's Killer Combat here once again with the second episode for Football Planet. So, today I want to cover build a team. So, I'm going to go over things like what to prioritise when you're trying to level up certain things. It could be the players themselves, it could be potentials, it could be any number of things. I'm going to go over some player synergy and preferred formations for those players. I'm going to talk about why it's so important for the goalkeeper and the striker to be levelled up first in a lot of cases. And then I'm going to show you my badges as well and how important those can be to boosting your team. And then I'm going to show you a quick match as well at the end versus the number one guy. I'm going to have a go at dethroning him in Battle Royal. So, the first thing, I guess, is to talk about where to spend your precious XP bottles, which also cost an unholy amount of gold, especially when your players are SS. So, it's really important, especially when you get to my stage, where you can only generally get one level out of a player per day. In some cases, you'll get two, if you're really lucky and the stars have aligned or whatever. But yeah. So, for a start, I think I should show you where to get the XP bottles. So, one of the main ones for me per day is I make sure I've competed in enough cross-server matches in order to purchase the 10 bottles. So, you can see there I've already bought my 10 bottles for today. This is really important. 10 bottles is a huge amount to get in a day. So, I try to get those every day. What else? Oh, yeah, you got the exchange point in here. If nothing else, you should always be getting your bottles from here. I've actually started getting stamina bottles as well because I'm trying to compete in so many different modes at the moment that I need as much stamina as I can get my hands on. Especially where I'm trying to do more goes of the top duel per day. So that's really important to be able to do as many goes of that in a day, so I need those stamina bottles as much as possible. And then also the Battle Royal, or Royal Battles it's called in this. Always getting that around the wrong way. Yeah, so for second place I'm getting 12, but every time that time is coming around, every 3 days, I'll spam challenges on that number one guy. God knows what that team name's supposed to be, but let's call him LK, so that we know who we're talking about. So LK, I'll be challenging him. All those goes that I get per day, 11, I'll be spamming all those on you tomorrow, by the looks of it, when it comes round to the reward day. Let's see. Yeah, so that's all the ways to get the XP bottles that I can remember off the top of my head. So now, where do you spend them? So, when upgrading your players, generally you want to pick like one player that you want to prioritise. So at the moment I'm actually picking Ronaldo. Actually used all my XP bottles for him. Got him from 110 to 111. So he's getting there slowly. So I'm picking Ronaldo because I've noticed people's keepers are getting a lot better. A lot of people are running SS Khan at the moment, which is really strong. I myself was actually running a level 50 Khan from really early, like back when the game first came out, and yeah, he sat at level 50 for God knows how long. I was hoping and praying that there'll be a way to level him up, and it never came, and then when I finally leveled a Cesar all the way up from scratch, mainly using the reward in Legend of Glory, yeah, so he's one of the rewards on the second one. I was caning that, trying to get that card, and I finally got him to SS, and then all of a sudden Khan is available all over the place, and yeah, now he just sits on my sub bench as a level 50. Never mind. But yeah, it actually worked out alright because I've got some nice synergy with Cesar and Cafu, so that's actually quite useful. Yeah, so you really need to pick a priority, like one of your main players. So remember, we were talking about the core on the last video, mine being Ronaldo, Zidane and Cesar mainly, to a slightly lesser extent Cafu and Carlos. So at the moment I'm prioritising Ronaldo for the reasons I've already mentioned. After that, I'm probably going to be levelling up Zidane, possibly Carlos as well, because Carlos is only in his 80s at the moment. He's quite quick to level up. It's quite cheap in terms of how much gold you've got to spend, so you can get a lot of value out of all of those levels. It boosts my defence quite a lot. I'm pretty sure by level 100 he'll be tackling all your strikers out there on the cross server, and LK as well. I'll be taking down that Drogba on a regular basis, hopefully. So yeah, the one thing I'm definitely not going to be doing anytime soon is levelling up that SR keeper, because that is going to cost an absolute fortune. I've already leveled 2 players to level 120, and that was painful enough. So going from 120 to 150 is going to be obscene. So I won't be doing that anytime soon, that's for sure. So yeah, that's kind of how I would prioritise personally. The other thing I would do is, if I've run out of energy bottles for that day, I haven't got anything to upgrade, then I would look to potentials next. And the reason I like this so much is because you can actually customise which stats you want to level up on a particular player, which can be huge. And well, I don't know how many people are doing this, but I personally, especially when I'm playing some of the top players cross server, you got Evil, MHMD80. Those are the 2 top men from Manchester United server who I'm competing with at the moment for that kind of second, third place spot. I will watch the match all the way through sometimes, just to get an idea of where their team's slightly stronger than mine, and where my team can be slightly stronger than theirs, so that I can then debunk where I'm stronger and, you know, take my focus away from there potentially. So for instance, if Ronaldo's scoring against their keeper on a regular basis, and I'll be like, right, Ronaldo's good enough for now, let's go somewhere else. And then you can look at areas of the pitch where you're stronger and weaker against your main rivals, either on your own server or the cross server match, and yeah, you can kind of slot potentials in and out. So for instance, recently I changed out, I can't remember what I had in there. I think I might have had composed shooting in there, which is useful because it gives awareness, and awareness can be really good on a striker because it gives them better positional sense. They get into better areas of the pitch in order to receive passes and therefore convert those into goals. But I found that when Ronaldo was getting the ball, especially where he's a lone striker, he sometimes has a bit of work to do. He has to dribble around some defenders, you know, get some space for himself before he can shoot. And because people have got some decent defenders these days up the top end of the ladder, things like Maldini and Baresi, legendary defenders, are starting to get higher level. And I'm sure they'll start becoming SS as well pretty soon, the way they're going. And then the top rival, LK, in my server, he's got the SS Rio Ferdinand, who I found was tackling my Ronaldo quite regularly, too regularly. So it's hard enough getting the ball to Ronaldo sometimes. You know, when he does get the ball, I want him to at least get a shot off. So I felt that dribbling stat in there was the way to go, which I noticed immediate benefit, immediate value out of that. So that was really good. So finally, I just want to give you a quick look at my badges. Now, this Giant League mode, when you start the hard mode, like when it shows up the 3 different ones you can do, easy, normal and hard, I think it's something like 3,000, maybe 3,200 recommended team power. Well, forget that. I was doing it at 2,500, probably less, because I couldn't wait to get stuck in and get those badges, because, you know, you look at the amount of stats you can get available on those badges, you want to be getting, acquiring those, let's call it, as quickly as possible. I mean, 1,000 across the board is ridiculous. I mean, I went from 3,200, I think I was at the time, before I finished off all my badges, straight up to 4,000. No, it was 2,500 or less. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I had 2,500 or less, and then I went straight up to 3,000 combat power after I finished all my badges. And well, at the time, being in the 3,000 club was a very exclusive club. There was only 3 of us. LK, of course, he was actually the first person to beat all the badges. And when I saw, one day I woke up, logged on, to do all my bits and bobs, and I saw his team combat power had gone up by like 700 odd, and I was like, oh my god, that must be the badges. And well, at the time I was hoping and praying that he'd already finished them, and that was his combat power after finishing, but it turned out it wasn't, and he took another big jump, and I was like, oh dear. So yeah, very important. That's, well, easily the biggest boost you're going to get out of anywhere else in the game, so you want to be getting into there as quickly as possible. And how did I do that? Well, I know I keep saying this and I feel like I'm repeating myself a bit too much, but the core, your team's core, and for the purpose of especially that mode, the Giant League, the keeper and the striker were the most 2 important pieces. So the reason I was able to win matches, win the challenges, because some of those challenges can be quite difficult in hard mode. Things like only concede 15 goals in a season. Well, you've got to play 38 games, so all it takes is the odd match, they're nicking a goal or 2 against you, and they'll add up, and 15 can be reached quite quickly if you're not careful. So having a really strong keeper is probably where you need to focus first, and then probably equally as important, definitely equally as important, is your striker, because all their keepers are going to be SS, their keepers are going to be strong, so you need at least one striker that's going to be able to score against him, because if your striker's not strong enough, his keeper's going to save every single shot you take, so therefore you're not going to be able to win any games. And some of the challenges are things like be the top scorer in the league, or score so many goals. I think it's like 100 in the whole season. So if you can't score enough goals, again, you're not going to be able to complete the challenges, and you're not going to get the badge. So definitely striker and keeper, that will allow you to do that Giant League hard mode well before it's recommending you do it. So with all that in mind, let's do a couple of matches, depending on how they go. If I get hammered, I'm definitely going to challenge him again. Don't want to embarrass myself too much. Let's have a go. Let's challenge LK, the top boy. Bearing in mind, he was absolutely murdering me for the longest time. You can see there, I mean, his defence is even strong now, so he got the Carlos like I did from the cross server. At the moment, I'm actually working on getting more Carlos fragments from the treasure hunt mode, treasure fight, whatever it's called. So I'm looking to further upgrade him, hopefully to SS in the near future. So at the moment, pretty standard. We're sort of equal generally. His Drogba's a pain in the arse because he scores so many of his shots against my keeper, but like I say, I can't really afford to level up my keeper too much at the moment. I'd rather level up my defence because there's still a lot of scope for levelling those guys up, and they're fairly cheap to level up at the moment. Most of my defenders are in the level 80 region, apart from Cafu, who is SS. So I'm actually 1-0 up. So, wow. Never know, I might be able to nick a win here. That would be nice. But yeah, I'm doing quite well here. I think that was Ronaldo's first shot, which he scored, which is exactly what I need. I know for a fact from other matches that I've watched that isn't usually the case. He's only converting around 25% of his chances at the moment against the top end players, which isn't good enough. So that's why I'm prioritising him. 1-1, that's not too bad. At least I didn't embarrass myself too much. Let's be risky, let's go for one more. He'll probably murder me 4-0 now, and, let's see. So his team in general is really decent. He was the first person out of any server to get SR, his first SR he acquired, and he whacked it straight on his keeper, which is what you need to do. Your keeper's really important. The higher your keeper, the less goals going to be scored against you. Yeah, look, see, Ronaldo's missed a crucial shot there. Got to be taking your chances at this level, just like in real life, just like in the real football match. Chances are few and far between at the top level, so you got to be converting those. Again, that's 2 chances missed now. So that, to me, straight away, I could be 2-0 right up now if Ronaldo's level was high enough. So that I definitely need to work on a way to convert more of those chances. At the very least, I need to get him to a level 120, which is probably what I'm going to do before I start leveling up anyone else in my team at the moment. Unless I get him to, I don't know, for instance, he might get to a level 115 and then I start seeing more return in my shots. So therefore I can then start working on other players. So we'll just see how it goes. Just keep an eye on things. So 0-0, not too exciting. There have been some chances. No goals scored. It's just random. I mean, you know, I had a game earlier and it was like 3-3 or something like that. So, you know, you occasionally get the odd goal flurry bloodbath, and then other games, you know, it's kind of you cancel each other out a bit. I mean, we've both got strong keepers. We've both got kind of equal defences and stuff. So we are getting kind of equal. I mean, one of the reasons as well that he appears so much stronger than me is because his formation actually counters mine. So he's playing 5-3-2. So if you go to formation upgrade, his where's 5-3-2? 5-3-2 there. So he will be giving minus 10% to my 4-5-1, which is quite a bit. I mean, I'm only like 50 team combat power above him overall, which isn't the be all and end all of the game by any means, but the fact that he's giving minus 10% to my stats makes it even harder, and I know for a fact that one of those stats was shooting, so that gives Ronaldo an even harder time scoring against his keeper. So that's why you need to get those strikers level up, guys. Very important. So I guess I'll wrap it up. The next video I'm going to be doing probably later on today is going to be the world domination. I've actually managed to get to the end, get to the last match, Germany, and beat that consistently now. So I'll be happy to share my strategy on how to do that. And yeah, hopefully you'll be tuning into that video as well, and tuning into all my future videos. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying my Football Planet series, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.